I was just going to say, like, dude, the way Bert thinks, like, it's funny because he's so famous, or he's pretty famous. Like, people say shit about him being fat all around the world. Bert Kreischer. He's that comedian I was talking about. That's friends with Joe Rogan. Yeah. Yeah, but so he was talking about his experience with 9/11 and his dad, and how like his dad, literally in his 30s, could still be like, no, you're doing like no, I gotta step in. Like, you're gonna stop doing this, you're gonna do this, and then he just shuts down. But when other people tell him that, he's like, don't tell me what to do. You can't tell me what to do. No one tells me what to do. It's like, no, your dad's been telling you what to do this whole time, and now you're taking that out on this person who's actually probably just trying to help you. And the other thing was, you said a big experience of his with 9/11 was with 9/11, and he was like, I was 16, and then I was all like adamant about oh, this is fucking bullshit. Bush is a piece of shit. But we need to protest. He was like, go in your room and sit there until you figure out why you're wrong, is what his dad told him. Wow. And so then eventually he comes out. He's like, why am I wrong? He was like, you have no idea because like, I spent time in war. Like, you don't know what's going on over there. Like, these people need a blah, 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 whatever. Anyone's argument for 9/11. And so then the guy was talking to, he was like, yeah, but you know your dad was wrong, right? He was like, it's an obvious thing now. Like, he was like, and by the way, that's bad parenting. He was like, fuck. Bert was like, fuck, I'm afraid to even say that about my dad. And then I was thinking, I was like, but you said you were 16 when 9/11 happened. Yeah. But I was in government class. I was in senior government class when that went down. Right. So I was 18 or 17. I was about to turn 18. So I'm 39 and you're 50. So there's no possible way that 9/11 could have happened when you were 16. It's impossible. You were 28. You were 28. But to me, that speaks to an obvious reality of arrested development. In his mind, he was a 16-year-old child that his dad was still picking on. And that also means that his dad at 28 could tell him to go to his room and shut the fuck up. What were you doing at 28? Didn't you already have movies made? And your dad had that much? I mean, bro. So when I'm listening to him, and I'm like, he's got a podcast that thousands and thousands of people listen to. And he can't even get chronologically. He's still a child. He's still a 16-year-old child in some of his things. And guess what? Even now, he still sounds like a 16-year-old child. Like, there's only 2 people that I listen to on podcasts that I feel have the levity, to just consistently be sound. The first person is Tim Dillon. And number 2, and not that close, but close enough, and that's Joe Rogan. Everyone else, bro, they're depraved. They're insecure. Like Theo Von, hilarious, but he's always trying to interject. He doesn't like jerking off. That is a personal problem, which, by the way, it is not bad to jerk off. That is a personal problem. I just always feel bad. Why do you feel bad? You know how many times I feel bad? Oh, this fucker. You know how many times? I was just going to go ahead and keep talking. Yeah, well, okay. You know how many times I feel bad when I'm jerking off? I don't. I feel great. And right afterwards, I don't feel like, sorrowful. I'm not crying into the tissue I just came in. I'm like, well, that was a good session. All right, time to eat. Like, you are making yourself feel this way. There's no one telling you this. These are all old concepts and precepts that don't even apply to people today. What, if you jerk off on the ground, you think God's going to kill you? Come on. You think jerking off is worse than having a baby you shouldn't? Then not even be able to raise that baby? What's worse? An 18-year-old thing where you've been fucking up, or you're going to fuck up for 18 years, or jerking off into a tissue and saying, good luck to you, and throwing it in the trash. Those babies in the tissue are better off than the one in this world. So I'm just listening to all these people, and I'm like, they got thousands and thousands of people, and they're fucking children. They're retarded, bro. And I don't mean retarded as in, I mean, they have a retarded mental approach. It's slowed. And in spite of that, they've managed to get all these people. But hey, is there a surprise here? Gringo Poppy, fucking Joe Rogan told Brendan Schaub that he should be a comedian. Because he was like, you don't need to be getting knocked out, bro. You're getting knocked out. It's going to fuck you up. He was like, you're funny. You should be doing comedy. You don't know what he told him a year later. He was like, yeah, I regret telling you that you should have done comedy. He's like, yeah, you're not ready. He was like, and I hate to tell you this because I'm the one that started this whole push for you to do it. He's like, but you shouldn't have done a special. You shouldn't have done. You did. He has 2 specials on Netflix that are straight trash. I listened to 30 seconds. I was like, no, I'll get cancer if I keep listening to this shit. So I had to turn that off. But like, that's my point, bro. There's all these famous people with no levity, all the ability, like everything slapping them in the face. But their perception cannot allow them to see everything that's happening around them. They're still stuck in some place in their childhood. And I'm like, dude. And the sad part is that they're not aware of it. And you're listening to these things, just for comedy. But I can't do that, bro. I don't watch movies like that. I'm watching a movie and I'm trying to get into the director's head of why he thought this was a good idea, whether it was or not. So I can't listen to someone in podcasting. Oh, yeah, some stuff is funny, but this is what I do. And I'm thinking, hey, I should just do a podcast about breaking down podcasts, which in its own way would be lame as fuck. But at least if I made it entertaining. So that being said, I know you can't talk. And by the way, yes, I have been recording for the past 8 minutes. But I know you got to get off here. I'm pretty sure you're shaking your head like, okay, when is he going to stop? He knows I can't keep doing this. Yeah. Well, as long as we're alive, we'll have another chance. So, hey, but at least I got you for 8 minutes listening while I'm talking. Well, it won't be able to. We can't do it tomorrow because I gotta work and like we're gonna have to. Next Saturday. Okay. Okay, man. Yeah. Fuck it. I think this is a good idea. It probably helps to get the conversation flowing better.
Absolutely. 100%.
And I'm not just sitting here like, oh shit, I gotta hit pause because I don't remember because I don't have anything. I don't have anything next. I'm like, oh shit, I talked about that idea. Well, conversations when you're talking to someone, they just kind of flow, especially with you.
Goes in and out of different subjects. and all that
Yeah.
type of shit.
So, but yeah, that was my thing about these podcast things, bro. It's just like all these people, they got all these following, like Whitney Cummings, she's got millions of people, bro. She's just not funny.
Right. Yeah.
You know, Bert, he has this thing where he laughs. By the way, he laughs like his dad, which means it's a fake laugh. He's just like, and it's like, and that's usually when someone's picking on him about something, because that is his wall, is that fake laugh. And it's so disconcerting and disingenuous. It's so fake and over the top. It's like, what the fuck is even happening right now?
It's all a cover-up.
Huh?
It's all a cover-up in the first place.
Yeah, it's all a cover up. I don't think you heard the last part, but yeah. Oh shit, my hair looks nuts. Well, all right.
It's concerned with lies.
It's disconcerting. Like he was doing the thing with Tim, this podcast, Something's Burning, with Tim Dillon and Whitney Cummings. And by the way, every line that Whitney had, it bombed. Every line throughout a whole hour and some change of the podcast, it bombed. Most of the things that Tim Dillon said, hilarious throughout it. He was pretty much shitting on Whitney throughout the whole thing. But then he went to shit on Bert about what he was cooking, because it was horrible. And then Bert started. It's like, my dude, just be like, you're right. It does suck. Chuckle, chuckle. Like, bro, it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic. Bro, it like makes my skin crawl.
Like, that's probably how he really feels inside.
Well, he's just, to him, well, like when he said, when his dad, the few times he laughed, seriously laughed, he that's how he audibly laughed, was something like that. And I imagine it wasn't even that. It was actually just something similar to that he's trying to imitate or emulate. You know, thinking that means that you're bald, like, oh God, I'm seriously laughing. It's like, no. It's fake. A real laugh, and I mean anyone's real laugh, will make you laugh. A real laugh is contagious. A real laugh, because it's unencumbered by anything. It's like the first time you see fear on your face. Like, whoa, that's hilarious because it's real. Just like a laugh, when someone's uncontrollably laughing. I've never been in a room where someone was really uncontrollably laughing and not laughed. Never. Because it's fucking hilarious. But when it's like you're forcing a shit, like a fucking constipation shit. Like you ate a block of cheese and you're. That's what it sounds like to me. It's not real. That's his daddy issues, bro. Just like he's 16 when 9/11 happened. Totally not. 30-year-old man. And here's the thing. He was 16 when it happened. Or he was 28 when it happened. By the time we had the conversation and everyone realized the whole thing about getting the oil and that Iraq had no weapons of mass destruction or anything, he was probably 30.
Yeah.
So he's a 30-year-old, 16-year-old. In his head. It is truly amazing.
Yeah.
And he's rich. Don't forget that. Whitney's on there, so why aren't women funny? And she's rich. And still can't figure out why people give her compliments even though she's not fucking funny. It's because you have a snatch. Because you have a pussy. And they want to fuck it. That's why when you walk in the room, they're like, she's got potential. And they're looking at your lips, and not for what they can say, for what they can do for them.
Part of it is that common sense I was talking about.
Yeah. Like, if you get to that point, you have to ask, why am I at this? You don't even belong in that field. You don't even belong in that fucking field. And dudes will condescend to you until they get in your panties. Been doing it for thousands of years. I mean, before they would just hit you with a stick and drag you in their cave. Can't do that anymore. There's YouTube now and Instagram. That shit will be blasted all over the thing. So they got to put the things away and tell you that you're funny at comedy.
So if you have a comedian that gets up on stage,
Huh?
I'm sorry, I said if you have a comedian dude that gets up on stage, he's not funny.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, bro, you suck.
Nobody says, why is he not funny? They
No,
just say,
he's not funny.
So what I'm saying to you is, if you have to ask the question,
Why aren't women?
ain't funny.
Why aren't women being pushed? It's because what you're saying isn't making people laugh.
Exactly.
That is why.
Yeah.
You're just not funny.
Yeah.
You just can't play basketball as good. You can't dunk. When you do, it's a soft dunk. Sorry.
Yeah.
This is just the reality.
Yep.
You can't figure that out? I don't know. You're supposed to be making babies. No offense.
They don't drive to the basket.
Yeah, but these are all people. Yeah, but these are all people that should be making babies. That doesn't mean there's, like I said before, that doesn't mean there's no funny women. Amy Schumer, Eliza Schlesinger, not Monique. There are some funny women, and they belong in that arena because they're damaged, just like the rest of the men that are in that arena. It doesn't mean that some people aren't damaged and they still aren't funny. Guaranteed, Whitney's got a lot of damage. That woman's she's fucking always trying to. She tried to save a fucking cat that kept trying to die. She got taken to the vet. They were like, the cat's trying to die. Like, let it die. She's like, no, save it. You know, fucking out in the fucking woods during the pandemic, doing God knows what, trying to chase down some deer so she can pet it. I mean, the bitch was out of her mind. That her mental breakdown was the most hilarious thing about her career. Sure as shit wasn't her comedy. So that's why, yeah, you're not funny. So that's why. No, that's why. That's why.
That's why. Why women are funny? You're not funny.
Yeah. Did Ronda Rousey ever have to ask, why isn't anyone watching my matches? Why? No, she never had to ask it because everyone was watching her matches because she was good.
And she was dynamic. And that's what
she made you want to, Jesus Christ, this film. It's going to fuck everything up. She made you want to watch her fucking show. Yeah, okay. Yeah, she made you want to watch. It kept your attention.
Yeah, because their fight was compelling.
Yeah.
They were dynamic.
You always wanted to see if she was going to tap yet another person out in the first round, and you always wanted to see, just in case, is somebody going to knock that bitch out? And until it happened, that's what everyone was kind of watching for. Because she was a bitch. She's a bitch. She says all types of fucked up shit to people that she goes in there and breaks their arms. She's a bitch. Everybody wanted to see her get knocked out. Just like Floyd Mayweather. No difference. He's a man. Black man, by the way. Obviously, a part of society that's been, let's say the handouts have not been plenty for black men and for women.
Right.
But both of you were at your peak, the most famous and the most watched of your group, of your respective group.
Yeah.
And because you were compelling, because you were good, or at the very least, people wanted to see you get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the answer do the thing that people want to see. If you can't do it, then go make the babies, man. Because you're in the wrong field. That's all. All right. I will let you go.
All right, so.
Yep. Okay. Look forward to next week. And I'm probably going to ramble on this thing for a little bit longer, and then I'll get off too. So, yep. All right, man. Thanks for talking. I will talk to you soon.
Yep, talk to you soon.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. That was my dad, if you didn't figure that out. Yeah, we were having this whole conversation, and I'm like 45 minutes into it, and I'm like, wait a minute. This is all the shit I wanted to talk about on the next podcast. Like, why am I not doing this? Other than the fact that this place is a little dirty and I need to fucking clean the shit up, but nah. Candid conversations are honestly the best. If I could just have a camera on me the whole time, my dude, the hours and hours of content. Just be tripping over things. Or doing something stupid, saying something stupid. It would be fucking fantastic, bro. I still wouldn't be rich. I still would have no followers, but it would be funny. At the very least, it would be funny. I think that I haven't put out as much stuff lately. Well, first of all, because I've been working, but also it's like I don't really believe in any of this shit. Really. Like, I've been doing the podcast for a year. I only got 42 episodes, which is kind of pathetic. But, you know, I think the most hits I've gotten is like 80. So it's like, fuck it. So really now, I think going forward, I'm going to get super smashed. And then I'm just going to come in here and say whatever. Wait a minute. Haven't I already kind of been doing that? A little bit. Just uncomfortably. And with sections where I'm not talking and I'm like, fuck, pause. Because I can't figure out the next subject line. There is an art to getting on a screen and talking and sounding coherent. There is an art, and you guess what? You gotta be a little crazy. You gotta be a little fucking megala if you're gonna do it. You can't be fucking solid for real, for real. You can't be, oh, I'm gonna go to the library and I drive and I do my taxes. Now you gotta be fucked up. You gotta be drunk a little bit. Gotta smoke a little bit too much. You gotta have done a little bit of fucking drugs. You know, had some bad relationships, been dumped, walked in on your fucking ex, fucking banging your best friend. You need all of that shit. Or some of it. All of it. If you're gonna fucking get on the screen and be like, yeah, should hear me talk. It is interesting as I was talking about those guys, about how it's funny because it's like I've worked with those guys, but the guys I work with are like, most of them gone to prison, and they're just as depraved, just as askew when it comes to what people have of them as a perception, how they perceive themselves, how it is totally does not add up to what they are actually presenting. I hear all the same things when I'm listening to these fucking famous people, if you want to say that, but it's like that the reality is they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. That's the fucking reality. They're still stomach jerking off is bad. It's bad. I mean, how could you even think that shit post 2015, I think? We got all types we got 80,000 genders. I don't even think a dick and a pussy is the only thing you can have anymore. There's got to be something else that's modified. A pussy dick. We got shows with animals and people fucking. I mean, well, shit, I guess we had that since Beauty and the Beast, but bro, is it more prevalent now? Like, I feel like they're trying to bring in bestiality. They've been trying to bring in pedophilia for years. You know, trying to fucking kind of socialize and make it not seem as bad for adults to fuck children. They've been doing that shit for years already. You think they haven't? Are these borderline motherfuckers? Fucking hairless tweens? You know, in all the magazines and all that shit, sexualized, or they do the thing they did on Netflix about, I don't know what it was called, something. It was about the thing with the kids on Netflix, and it's like it did more to just promote the disgusting thing you're acting like you're trying to fucking shed light to. It just did more to promote it. Like people were probably just watching that thing and jerking off onto their fucking screens. You're not helping the situation by continuing children fucking, child fucking. Look at it. Isn't it wrong? Isn't it wrong? Hey, why are you jerking off your dick while you're asking me if it's wrong? Oh, shit. It's involuntary. Didn't realize. You know? And I feel like they're doing that shit with the fucking beasts now. Just fucking... Every time I turn on the thing and it goes into the screensaver with the Netflix, it's got the kid with the fucking deer antlers. What's the shit called? I don't fucking know. I'm not actually going to watch the show. I don't want to fuck beasts. I want to fuck humans. So I'm not going to watch a show where a human is eventually going to fuck a antler dude. Like a dude with antlers. So what the... Yeah, so there's that. Oh my God. Like, I was listening to a podcast with Bobby Lee and Kalila. He's got over 2 million views. And Theo Von. Which, seriously, anyone who's seen a podcast with them, you gotta understand that Theo wants to fuck Kalila. And Kalila kind of wants to fuck Theo. And Bobby Lee's just sitting there all Asian. You know? Like, all Asian and sad. You know? Like, watching this chemistry build between his girlfriend and this fucking white Nicaraguan. You know? And you know, like Bobby does... I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, it's like watching people work through the worst of what's going on in their mental state. And then they're getting paid for it. You know? Like, he starts a podcast, he does this thing where he won't let anyone say something until, I have to introduce you. I'm like, dude, have you watched the most famous podcast? Literally, people, they just come on and they start talking. Introduce you. No, shut, don't talk. You're already talking. They're already talking. And then he does that, and then he's like, he's like, so how have you been? Like, so how have you been? And then when they answer, he's like, stop talking. He's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. Apparently he's funny on stage because he gets up on stage and fucking jerks his dick and takes off his fucking clothes and his fat, nasty fucking Asian body. You know, apparently that's funny to some people. Yeah, I'm sure it is. People also like the Three Stooges. You know, I think most of those people are dying off. Like, they want to actually hear something that's funny. But then again, I'm pretty sure that lineage won't just die. Like,
That's the other thing about those people that like the Three Stooges. They also like to fuck. They don't have much going on. It's like, hey, I'm eating food. Now I'm going to watch this person beat someone over the head with a stick. And then I'm going to go fuck my girl and give her another baby, the 9th baby. So they reproduce at an alarming rate. I mean, a disgusting rate. These assholes, they reproduce, you know, and they fucking tell their kids, hey, watch Jeff Dunham. You know, watch him talk about the fucking, you know, watch him with the terrorist skeleton thing. I kill you. I kill you. I mean, that's funny. I don't know. You think about people like him too, like a Jeff Dunham. I'm looking at his face and I know he feels like he's the smartest person in the room. And here's the thing. With his audience, he most definitely is. That's an easy audience. They love puppets. Elements? That's funny. They love puppets. They love watching you fucking come up there and have a fake doll talk to you. Like, I look at that and I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to kill myself now. This is what the world is? Are you fucking kidding me? This guy's up there talking with the dolls and everyone's laughing like it's the funniest fucking thing they've ever heard. And here's the thing. Sometimes he's picking on them. He's picking on his audience a lot. They're just like, well, they're not doing it. It's like when someone picks on me, I know they're picking on me and I'm in on the joke. It's really hard to laugh at me and not with me. Because if you tell me I did something stupid, I'm like, I'll tell you 3 reasons why it was stupid. The thing I did. But, I mean, that's not his audience. They're not introspective in that way. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, even though I literally just did it. You know. And I just want fucking Brendan Shaw. He went from getting knocked out in the fucking UFC to just, what's the equivalent of being knocked out in comedy? I don't know, but that's where he's at. Dude. Because this fucker is just, you can only laugh at him. You can't laugh with him anytime. If you laugh with him, my God, you're dumb. You're dumb. If you can laugh with that idiot, you are a fucking idiot. Like, the only thing anyone should be doing in comedy with this fucker right now is laughing at him. Either that or just stone-faced saying, bro, you're not funny. Maybe you should go back to being knocked out in the ring, being less coherent, and then come back and do a fucking jumbled Parkinson's podcast. Where at least you know you can't talk. You're just like, and you're shaking, you know? And so then that's the only way I think anyone would laugh with you. It's like, Rob, not only is he not funny, he's shaking, you know, and he's trying to tell the joke. Well, with the chicken across the, you know, gringo poppy. Like, and then people can laugh with you, but other than that, they're just going to be laughing at you. That being said, I haven't been brave enough to go up on stage for years. Then why shouldn't I be? Like, not brave enough. Why should I be brave enough? Because people are stupid, and you can steer them. And if you're doing the thing okay, you're doing the thing right. Like, you've got this ball of energy in your hand that the crowd is responding to. And you can make them respond in a certain way. Once you've honed your craft. And then you can walk into a room and you can see oh, this is going to be a crowd that's not going to laugh. And if you know that instantly, you can probably still make them laugh. Because you've already gotten the feel. Unless you're too insecure. And then you're going to look at them and you're just going to be intimidated. I just don't see the reason to be intimidated by a bunch of idiots that came to watch your show. If anyone came to watch your show and they're not your friend, you didn't specifically invite them, assume they're idiots. Assume they're the same types of people that fucking just get on cruises, that fucking stand in lines at Burger King for unbelievable amounts of time. I know I just talked about this in the last podcast. Assume that they're fucking retarded. And it's all manipulation game. And I think the best comedians understand that the people that listen to them, they might not say it seriously, but they definitely say it, in a satirical way. They understand that the people listening to them are fucking retards. They're voting. If you're voting today, you're a retard. You're literally standing in a line to put your fucking signature on a thing that you just hit a bunch of things to vote for someone who is not going to represent you in any fucking way. You're a retarded. You're a retarded. And you're probably going to a comedy show after. I also realized it's funny too, because someone like Tim Dillon, he would be, if this world was working right, he should be as famous, if not more famous, than Joe Rogan. He should be getting 30 million views. The things that he says are way more pertinent. And even his satire holds such a fucking piece of truth in what he's satirizing. Like, but the fact that a lot of people don't listen to him and they think he's this fucking right-wing Nazi fuck. Well, fuck. I mean, it's got to speak to how fucked the world is. There's still people talking about Louis C.K. Like him jerking off in front of women that he invited in his place is like being Bill Cosby and drugging bitches. Oh, God. I didn't mean to say bitches. Well, yeah, maybe it might have been bitches. Fuck it, I don't know. I mean, you're in that room. I'm not... Hey. You're not supposed to drug anyone. You are not supposed to rape them. But I'm saying, don't act like every one of those women came from church and went to work for Bill Cosby. No offense. And no one should ever rape anyone. What I'm saying, I don't know. It's probably mean. I'm just saying, dude, like, it's a wide world. And Cosby wasn't created in a day. Like, he had a whole conglomerate of people behind him. There's probably people that fed some of these women to him. There's probably some of those women that they were like, hey, we're going to go do a thing with Bill Cosby. Some things might happen. Don't worry about it. You'll be compensated. And then this whole thing came out. Like the producers didn't know. He was probably fucking some of the girls with the producers. You think every one of those women were drugged? We would have to do a scientific background check on that. Pretty sure everyone wasn't drugged. And just like anyone, when someone gets on a train, everyone else wants to get on that fucking train because it's moving, right? It's going to take us somewhere. Hopefully to some fucking money. So they do the thing. That doesn't take away from the fact that this motherfucker is a monster. I'm going to go ahead and say, man, life is always so much more complex. And if we're going to demonize this monster, which we absolutely should, we got to demonize everyone who allowed this monster out of his cage and then gave him rooms to go in and violate these women. You know, none of them are going to jail. They're all still here. All those same fucks. Or maybe some of their children who inherited the roles or whatever. They're all still there, bro. He's a monster among monsters. And Louis C.K. is not that. He's just an idiot and a male, who wanted to get his dick wet in some weird ways, you know? But he didn't hold a girl at gunpoint. And the fact that they're still idiots, like this fuck I worked with, this fucking idiot Filipino. Oh, he talks about people like, he's talking about Adam, my boss, who's also a fucking depraved retard asshole. Your daughter's going to hate you, and you're not with your wife because you love her. You're with her because she's fat and she's the only one that you can get. You dumb piece of depraved shit. Anyway. You got people like that guy saying because my boss was showing him some Louis C.K. videos, which, by the way, he's always showing something. He loves showing things to people that he knows is going to piss them off. It gives him validation. That's how fucked he is. You know, that being said, no one should be looking at a Louis C.K. bit now in today's world, understanding how fucking over embellished that whole situation was. No one should be looking at his videos now going, oh, but he's Cosby. He jerked off in front of women that he invited into his place. I mean, that is so not drugging them and fucking them against their will. That is so not that. And just like Dave Chappelle said, if him doing that ruined your comedy career, well, that's a weak spirit. And you need to look more at yourself. And not at fucking Louis C.K.'s fucking freckled white Mexican dick. Acting like that's the sole reason why you're not funny. As a matter of fact, that should have given you some comedy. Him doing that. This motherfucker jerking off. I mean, you know. We're both comedians, but I don't fucking know how you would make the thing work, but you could make it work. If you were a real comedian. But you're not. You're supposed to be working it Safeway. You're supposed to be having babies. You're not supposed to be on stage. You know that. Yeah, so there's that about all the podcast people and all that shit. We'll get off that. If I have anything else to say about it, though, I'll chime in with that. Fuck. By the way, I'll do that again. I'll look at a bunch of other podcasts and I'll critique those because I feel like it. That's what I want to do. If you don't like it, don't watch. Most people don't anyway. My last thing got 7 views. It's been 3 days, but you know. Some things get hundreds of thousands of views and we're at 7 views. 3 days. Huh. 7 views, 3 days. I'm gonna make no podcast after that. Well, and by the way, anyone who is watching, you know, I get people all the time. I've said this before. You know, like this one lady, she was like, "Do you ever let him talk?" I'm like, "Well, by all means, put that in the comments. Then we can talk about it on air like I want to. You don't have to wait till you see me a month later and be like, could you have let him talk more? Put it in the comments, bitch. Put the shit in the comments. If you don't want to, that's also fine. I don't give a fuck at this point anymore. But, hey, I've done, It's 45 minutes now.
Leave them wanting more.
Or something. I think that applies if they wanted the thing you were doing in the first place. Just proving that that is not the case here. But yeah, I'm going to try to do the weekly thing. So, hey, I'll put this out in a day or so. And look for me next week. Hopefully with my dad. If not, it'll just be me. But it's been fun. And I'll see you fucks next week. Deuces.